Hello and welcome. I'm Smiley, and today we're going to be talking about wanting to be a bot again. And the topic of this video is inspired by a feeling that I know a lot of you out there have experienced before. And if you haven't experienced it yet, 9 times out of 10, you will experience it at some point in your walk with Christ. And I know this because I myself have experienced it. Wanting to go back to the world, wishing that you didn't know all that you know, and wishing that you could do all the things that people in your age group are doing right now. I've experienced it. At the beginning of my walk, I heavily struggled with this. I would look at all the girls doing all the things that I was raised to want to do. And when I say I was raised to want to do, I mean, if you're not familiar with the channel, you never seen me before, um, you may not know the lore. Okay, you may not know the lore yet, but you will because you just press subscribe. And if you didn't press subscribe, you're about to press subscribe right now, right? Yeah. No, but seriously, like if you're not familiar with the lore of who I am and some of the stories that I've told on this channel, then you wouldn't know this. But let me fill you in really quickly. Born and raised New Yorker here, okay? Born and raised in New York City. And I mention this, I bring this up because part of why I wanted the life that I used to want, the partying, the climbing the corporate ladder, all of those things. Part of why I used to so heavily yearn for them at the beginning of my walk was because I was raised. I was raised to want these things. It's been instilled in me from a very young age. You got to get it out the mud. You got to make something of your life, make a movie out of your life. So, for me, when I saw all the girls in my age group start to do this, I wanted it. I wanted it and I missed it bad. And it was a struggle for me because I knew that God was no longer calling me to be that person, to want any of those things. And it was in this that I got 3 revelations. And these are the 3 points that I'm going to present to you today. So, the person out there that may experience this or has already experienced this feeling of wanting to be like the world once again, wanting to go back to your old self, to your old man. So, revelation number 1, God calling you higher is a blessing. Listen, you have about 80 to 90 years on this planet. And then you have a limitless, timeless amount of time in eternity. Doing good by God's standard, living by God's standard, for this little blip of a life on this planet is so insanely worth it when you look at the timetable. When you look at the timeline, our life is this little tiny little microscopic dot right here. And our eternity is straight up going off the screen right now. That is how long eternity is. That is how long eternity is. That is our current life compared to all the rest of eternity. Doing the little blip the right way here is such a blessing. It is such a gift. God's like, hey, if you could just have faith in me, and have faith that what I'm saying is true for the blip that you are on this earth for, eternal peace. That is such a blessing that God is calling us higher, that God is calling us to be better than this world for the sake of all of our eternity. So, of course, there's the eternity of it. But then there's the biggest part of this point, understanding that it is such a blessing just to serve the Lord. Such a blessing. Such a blessing just to serve God, just to have a relationship with Him. God calling you higher in the kingdom is an amazing, eternal honor. An eternal honor. So, yeah, God calling you higher, calling you away from the things of the world is a blessing because, one, in the grand scheme of things, it is so worth it for you to obey Him. And because, two, in the grand scheme of things, He's so worth it. And then moving on to point number two. And this one really hit me. This one really hit me in the heart. Those people that you are so heavily desiring the lives of, they may not be as happy as they seem. And that is a real moment. Because those people are showing you a highlight reel, hon. They are showing you a highlight reel. That's what social media is. It is a highlight reel of everything that the world has to offer you. How many people do we know have been in the industry, the top of the top, the creme de la creme, all the money that you could want, the women and everything else in between, who decided to delete themselves? Come on. You have no clue what those people are really feeling deep down inside. Only they know, and only God knows, what they say about themselves in their head when they put their head to the pillow at night. Only them and God. And we really should understand this because God has said it several times that He wants us to enjoy life. He wants us to enjoy our youths. So there is good reason for why He doesn't allow us to do the things that these other people are doing. And it's because He knows. It's because He knows what they say about themselves when they pass by a mirror. He knows what spirits have inhabited them from all the nights out in the club. He knows. God does not withhold anything good from His children. And then there's point number three. And it kind of goes hand in hand with point number two, but it's a little different. You have no clue what those people had to do to get where they are right now. You have no clue. You have no clue what they had to do to be the type of people that they currently are showing up as, to travel the world, to sing the national anthem at the Super Bowl, to get that record deal. You have no clue what they had to do in order to get there. So don't desire to go back to the world because it looks like they're living the life. Because as one of my children, you would be incapable of doing what they did in order to get where they're at. So don't want that for yourself because you have no clue the morals that they've thrown out of the window in order to get that award, in order to live that life. And we know this. We know this. We're all in 2024 at the exact same time. We know this. Cut on the news or any media outlet, and you'll know this. Left and right, we're starting to see what certain people have had to do and put up with in order to get their name out there, in order to live that life that everybody says that they want from behind the screen. Could never begin to gauge any of anything of their life. Looks can be very, 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 very deceptive. And yeah, those are my 3 points. Let's go over it one final time. I know I've been going over it continuously throughout this video, but let's just compile it all together. Why you don't want to go back to the world. Point 1. Because God's calling over your life is a blessing. It's rewarding on multiple fronts. Why you don't want to go back to the world. Point number 2. Because you have no clue what any of those people that you so desire the life of are dealing with emotionally behind closed doors. You don't want what they have because you don't know what they're thinking. Point number 3. Why you don't want to go back to the world. Because you have no clue what a lot of these people in the world have to do in order to get the lifestyles that they're living. You have no clue the morals that they have to sacrifice in order to get into the rooms that they are in. And yeah, that's everything. But I would like to say this little disclaimer, y'all, enjoy life. It's fine. It's fine. You can enjoy life. You can travel. You can work. You can live life. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with living life. But live life with Christ. That's the life you want to live. Anywhere else is not nearly as joyous as where you are right now, walking hand in hand with Christ, walking hand in hand with Jesus. It ain't not nearly as fulfilling and not nearly as rewarding. And yeah, now that's absolutely everything. So, as per usual, I'm not going to do all that, but